Hey guys, it's Michelle.
And Brandy.
And this is Spooky Shit.
And not Tales from the Beyond.
Not Tales from the Beyond. Alright, so this week we are telling some local haunted San Diego stories. Brandy's going to be starting.
Yes, I'm going to talk about the William Heath Davis house.
And I am going to be talking about the Whaley house. Side note, the way you said William, you kind of went, Weh, and I thought you were going to say Whaley house, and I was like, fuck. It really scared me.
What house I was
Oh my
doing.
god. I know, but I was like, maybe it has a nickname.
You know my pronunciation sucks.
Yeah, you're like William.
William. I'm sorry, William.
It's close enough.
Anyways, I'm just going to apologize right now. I have a lot of history.
Hell yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
I like the history stuff.
It's like, whoa, so that's how it started.
Everyone here just for the ghost is like, fuck.
They're like, skip.
Yeah, literally. Mine has history too. Just stop listening.
Damn. But I feel like the Whaley house is more interesting. I hadn't even heard of this house.
I hadn't either. That's why I was scared as a nickname for the Whaley house. I like Googled it to make sure they're different things. And then the way you pronounce it right now, I was like, did I Google it? Did I really do that?
Anyways, it is more commonly known today as the Davis Horton house. You'll see why.
Oh. Hey, the first house I did, the Horton Grand Plaza. Is it around there?
Yes, it is, actually.
I guess that makes sense. It's Horton area. Okay, you know what? Just go. I'm so sorry.
Built in 1850, it is one of the oldest standing structures in downtown San Diego.
Oh.
So it all started with a man named, you guessed it, William Heath Kanaka Davis Jr.
Kanaka.
I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
It's just very interesting.
You'll see.
Okay, I was going to say, all the Kanakas right now listening, like, ugh.
It will make sense.
Okay.
So William was born in 1822 in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Honolulu.
Honolulu.
Yes. I like that you paused it for Lulu.
I wasn't trying to.
I used to say Honolulu.
Honolulu. Honolulu.
Honolulu. Maybe.
He was born to a Boston ship captain / pioneer of the Hawaii sandalwood trade, and to the daughter of the governors of I was gonna say Oahu. I don't know how you say that. Oahu?
Oahu.
Oh, it is Oahu?
Yeah.
So I was right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I thought it was going to be a different island, and I was like, oh, like Oahu.
Sorry, I don't know my islands.
I have only gone to Oahu in Hawaii, so I'm like, oh, there, Honolulu, I stayed there.
I should know my islands. One of my good friends is Hawaiian.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on, Brandy, get your shit together.
Well, we don't, like, when we hang out, we don't talk about
You just sit there repeating over and over, Honolulu, Oahu.
Anyways, as a boy, he traveled a lot to California to visit his uncle in Yerba Buena, known today as San Francisco.
Oh, hey. Well, they really changed San Francisco's name.
Yeah.
Wow, holy shit.
A lot of these towns they did.
Oof. Colonization, probably.
Woo. In 1838, at the age of 17, he decided to stay with his uncle, and within a year was known to the locals as an adventurer.
Ooh.
He spent his free time exploring the vast wilderness of the Sacramento Valley.
It's just my thing is Sacramento now, and I'm like, the vast wilderness.
It was back then.
Yeah, concrete jungles, whatever Alicia Keys said.
About 10 years later,
Boom. And then this is like, gay. God, we're like an obnoxious radio station.
Why do you guys like us? No.
No one does. Our last episode's been doing really poorly.
Damn. It's because Leah left. They were like, wow.
Weirdly, it's one of my favorite ones to listen to so far, and it only it has like half the amount of normal listens we have. Everyone's just in denial that she's leaving.
What happened?
I don't know. They probably are just overhearing her talk, and they're like, just get
God.
to Michelle and Brandy only.
About 10 years later, he led some men up the river to Sacramento, where they discovered gold.
Gold Rush.
Yes, it was like during the prime.
I joined the Gold Rush too.
Shortly after he left his job, he had, with his uncle as a storekeeper, to start his own shipping business. He became what was called a supercargo, which was a person responsible for managing and sailing a ship's cargo.
Pretty self-explanatory name.
Yeah. Additionally, he got even more money, or more rich, by selling supplies and land to those who came to California for the gold rush.
Dang.
So it's not even that he was like searching for gold himself. It was more that
he was a little slumlord
Yeah.
to all the other people.
he was like, "Oh, you need supplies? I got you."
Oh, what's up?
By the time he was 28 years old, he had become a San Francisco town council member and was one of the wealthiest men in California.
Oh, shit. He was 28?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's gonna be me in a couple of years.
What do you do with your life?
Still unemployed.
Same.
I have 4 years.
Well, not unemployed.
You're not unemployed.
But, like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, true.
He ended up marrying a woman named Maria de Jesus Estudio, who was also wealthy and actually was the niece of Jose Antonio Estudio, who owned Casa de Estudio, which still stands in San Diego's Old Town Historic Park.
Oh, shit.
So they lived in Old Town, basically.
Nice. My people lived in Old Town, too. What? Oh, my God, spoilers. Okay, low-key, I keep forgetting that we're doing a San Diego episode, so I'm like, oh my God, right.
Oh my God, it's in the same
Mine's
state.
in San Diego, too. Oh, wait. Did you use Old Town Sacramento?
No.
Okay, San Diego. Okay. Whew, I was like, wait, how stupid did I just sound? Only mildly.
Oh, damn. So after visiting San Diego with his wife, he became interested in a plan to create a new city close to the San Diego Bay.
What? He created a city?
Oh, I'll get there. He
I'm-
wanted to.
Oh, I'm like, I was trying to think, I was like,
Well,
is there
'cause
a
you
city
know-
on the Bay? PB?
Well, no, like downtown San Diego, it's like super close to the water. And Old Town isn't. It's more...
Oh, he created downtown? I feel like I'm asking really dumb questions. You just could keep talking.
He thought it made more sense to place the city near the water so that people could be closer to the trade route and the ships that docked in the bay.
God, such an old time. You're like, you need to be close to the water for the ships.
Basically.
That's fucking funny.
And I guess the land there was like pretty whack. Like there were hardly any trees or anything to like build houses, so he actually bought prefabricated houses from Portland, Maine.
Whoa.
And he decided to name this bayside town. Guess what?
Coronado? I don't know. The fuck?
No, he named it Newtown.
They kept mentioning Newtown in the stuff I was reading. I didn't write about it because I was like, the fuck is Newtown?
Basically, it's what was known today as downtown.
God damn it. I'm like, Coronado?
No.
My dumbass.
It's basically downtown San Diego
Okay.
was Newtown back then.
Okay. I
And
thought
then
maybe...
Old Town is still
a
known
bayside
as...
town. Name's the only island in San Diego.
is Waterside. I don't know. I thought it would be a name that I knew because you told me to guess.
Coronado's in the bay. It's pretty much the same thing, right?
Okay, shut up. You said guess like I was gonna guess Newtown. I guess it would have made sense after Old Town, but I thought it was still relevant. I thought it was still somewhere. And I know Coronado's an island. I'm sorry. I actually didn't remember when I guessed. I thought it was just land. Wait, do you want to something really funny and kind of embarrassing? I
What?
thought that islands... Hindsight's 20/20, guys. I thought
Yo.
islands were like floating in the water.
She thought they were fucking giant logs, essentially. Just super buoyant pieces of land.
All
They
it took
just-
was somebody like really pointing out, think about that. And I was like, maybe not. This was like last year, Brandy.
Damn, Michelle.
So Coronado's the bayside town in my mind, just a floating log in San Diego. Floating log sounds like a shit. I'm so sorry. Jesus Christ.
Well, when you say that, yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, maybe I can name this San Diego and floating log. And I was like, it sounds like poop.
No.
No.
No. Don't do that.
You're tired of my shit. You're just yawning while you're saying. Okay. It's been like 5 minutes since you've spoken.
Newtown included a wharf, which was a pier.
I was like, I swear to God, if you make me guess the name of the wharf.
A store, a park, military barracks, and several houses.
Seaport Village. No?
We're in downtown. Well, I
Seaport
guess,
Village?
yeah, that's close enough.
All the non-San Diego people are like, shut the fuck up and get on with it already. Because I just keep pausing to guess all these local things no one knows about except for us.
Yeah, well, unless they live in San Diego.
True. Everyone should visit San Diego, so I don't know if that'd sound more dumb, actually, if they'd been here and knew the area. You go, Brandy. You just go. We'll see how much of this even stays in the episode.
So, after a huge fire in San Francisco destroyed most of William's fortune? His money.
Straight cash?
Well, I mean, like, his businesses that he had up here.
I was like,
Or
damn,
up
boy, they
there.
had banks back then.
He gave up his dream to begin a great city near San Diego Bay. He basically ran out of money.
Okay, so it
So
wasn't Coronado.
It wasn't. It was
I'm
downtown.
just kidding.
But he basically had, like, started it.
Okay.
But then, you know.
It's like new-ish town.
Yeah, I guess.
Didn't get all the way there.
Yeah. So the houses he had bought were known as salt box houses, which typically consist of large wooden frame that has 2 stories. Has 2 stories on like the front side of the house,
Oh,
and then only 1 story in the back.
that is odd.
It is odd. It has a long pitched roof that slopes down to the back, and a flat front, and a central chimney.
Oh. This sounds kind of cute.
It's nice.
What I'm imagining in my head looks really cute. I see it in real life and I'm like, ugh.
I mean, it's pretty interesting. After he gave up, or was forced to give up,
That was not his own choice.
many others jumped up for an opportunity. One of those was a filthy rich man named Alonzo Erastus Horton.
Oh. Horton. Okay. I was gonna be like, that's the name of the guy in San Diego.
Yeah, it
Dude,
is.
I'm like
This is him.
out of it today for some reason.
This is him. He is known as the father of San Diego.
Boom, boom.
Ba-dum-tus. And the Horton Plaza Mall in downtown.
Town.
Downtown.
Downtown San Diego.
In downtown San Diego is named for him. He was born in 1813 and grew up in New York. By his 20s, he had developed a keen
Interest?
No.
Oh. Entrepreneurial? Not interest.
I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that.
He was an entrepreneur.
He had... basically. He
was very motivated.
He was very motivated.
Yes.
That's a better word.
You write down these words and you're like, I don't want to say this.
I don't. Because I know I'm gonna fuck it up.
They always sound better in your head.
They do. I said it right in my head.
Yeah, and then out loud you're like,
And they're... He eventually moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where he became very successful at trading land and cattle. In 1847, he purchased a fat piece of land, which was 1,500 acres. I put my own slang in there, okay?
Also, the way you said fat piece, I heard fat puss, and I was like, Brandy.
No!
A fat pussy
piece.
land.
Fat piece of land. Nasty.
Oh my god.
And he created a little village known as Hortonville.
That's the dumbest name, I'm sorry.
I
Oh
feel
my
like he's a
God.
little vain.
What do you mean? Hortonville?
It actually still exists today.
No, that's
Yeah.
such a weird name.
It has a population of a little over 2,700 people.
Oh, yeah, that's not much.
Yeah, it's not. I feel like more people... That's like how many people are in one high school.
Yeah.
Like, literally. After his success of the village, he ventured to California to get into the gold action. He sold interest for $7,000 and went to El Dorado.
Oh, yeah.
El Dorado. Fuck! I'm Mexican
El Dorado.
too. Yeah, El Dorado.
Let's say it the white way. Just make it
County.
easy on yourself.
You're right. I don't know why I do this to myself. Anyways, he went to El Dorado County, which was the heart of the mother lode. And he was successful yet again, but not by finding gold, but by trading ice and supplies in mining towns.
Dang, this motherfucker's really taking advantage of the gold rush.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit.
I mean, I guess that's pretty smart though.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Because it's all these people are finding gold, and they're gonna spend money to for supplies to go find more gold.
He wasn't rich for nothing.
He really wasn't. He was smart.
He could have come up with a better name for Hortonville, just to be clear, but pretty smarter than that.
It reminds me of like something in Dr. Seuss.
Yes! That's what
Like
I'm thinking of too.
Whoville.
Yes! Oh, because Horton hears a who.
Oh my god!
Ah! You know, I heard he wrote that book.
His name's not Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss's real name isn't Dr. Seuss, is it?
I don't know.
Pause. Theodore Seuss Ted Geisel, a.k.a. Horton? No, his name's not Dr.
Wait.
I think Seuss is his middle name.
Oh my god, it is.
Oh my god, he died in La Jolla. Oh my god. Our Google is still relevant to the episode. You guys,
God.
Dr. Seuss was here.
Why did he name himself Doctor? Was he actually a doctor?
It says he was a children's author, political cartoonist, illustrator, poet, animator, screenwriter, and filmmaker. So I'm guessing he's just really full of himself. He's like Dr. Seuss.
I see.
Yeah. Interesting.
Wow.
Okay, sorry. I was just about to go read his fucking Wikipedia right now.
He eventually went back to Wisconsin, only to return years later to San Francisco, where he opened a furniture and household goods store. While there, he heard the word of a growing settlement down in a small town named San Diego.
Oh my god, it was a small town back then. I wasn't joking.
Yes.
Okay, jeez.
It was really tiny.
I felt really bullied right now. You're like,
I'm sorry.
idiot.
It was
Does that make sense? It was like 150 years ago. Ish.
I mean,
We don't have to do the math. Over 100.
it was a long
though.
time ago.
Yeah, okay.
There was like nothing.
I don't know why I was like, San Diego's always been huge.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
So he sold his store and journeyed to San Diego. Once he arrived, he bought 960 acres of land, which became known as
Horton Grand Plaza? Stop!
Close Horton's Addition.
Why would I guess that?
Because it has his name in
Okay, well, Horton something. You keep having me guess these
I'm sorry.
things.
I just look at you and you just automatically are like,
You look at me like, guess, bitch.
You didn't guess. So at first there was opposition, from residents in Old Town. That was until the new businesses began to flood into the new tract due to its greater convenience for ships arriving from the east.
Oh, okay.
So he basically like set up the shops and everything, like help them grow, and so people in Old Town were kind of like, "What are you doing?" Until
They got more money and they're like, "We'll take it."
Yeah, and they were like, "Okay."
All right, fine, Horton.
The city grew pretty fast, which made Alonso even richer. He also established San Diego's Chamber of Commerce in an effort to further expand the city.
Dang, he was trying to take control of the city, basically.
Basically.
Damn, Horton.
He was, what's the word?
Dick.
Ambitious.
Oh.
An ambitious, rich...
Kind of full
Asshole.
of himself.
Yeah.
And he
And-
named it the Horton Chamber of Commerce.
No. In 1867, he was the first person to ask for a public city park to be developed, which later became known as...
Balboa Park.
Yeah!
Finally! Woo! Do you see that you paused for me to guess?
I did.
Okay.
I'm sorry. But I mean, I figured you had to know this one.
Woo. I was so close to being like, Horton Park? I don't fucking know. He probably tried to name it that at first. They're like, you guys, you need to stop.
To this day, it is Horton, not Davis, who was known as the founder of San Diego, which makes William really mad.
Dang. And I hope he haunts Horton. He just might. He just might.
Not that I know. So they actually both died in the same year in 1909.
Whoa.
William was 87,
Oh fuck.
living with his daughter, and until the end, he was like bitter old man and claimed that he was the true founder of San Diego.
Straight up. We talked
Straight
about
up.
Horton so much, I forgot about this other dude.
Damn.
So
It'd be like that. So did everyone else.
I know I'm like one of the assholes now that was like, yeah, Horton founded it.
I mean, it kind of made me mad, so I got more into William's story than Alonso's.
Yeah. I also keep forgetting Horton's not his first name and last name. It's like Horton.
It's Alonso or Horton.
Alonzo Horton.
But I guess I'll mention it. He was actually married a few times, but
William?
Alonso.
Oh.
But they didn't last.
Well, he seems like a little player.
He was.
I bet
It said
he was.
officially he was like married 3 times, but his family says that he was married at least 5.
How do you get unofficially married 5 times?
Well, I mean,
Fuck.
like they could actually find paperwork on 3.
Dang. Oh my god, a little player.
Right? So unfortunately, I'm not sure why, but circumstances do not permit him to receive full credit for his efforts.
Oh.
I found that on like every website. I'm like, that's sad. That sucks.
That's
Like,
pretty
he literally
depressing.
started it.
You know, we're bringing
He should
awareness to him.
He should get like a little credit, you know?
Yeah. We're giving him credit right now. Everyone, Google his name. So, I don't know. It has a lot of hits and it makes it seem like he's popular. I don't know that logic. William founded San Diego.
He did.
Fuck you, Horton, bitch.
Oh, he's gonna come haunt you.
Oh.
You're closer to downtown than I am.
Not close enough. He
True.
can't walk 10 miles.
After the town started to boom in 1873, it piqued a woman by the name Anna Shepard interest. Wow,
Wow, did it really?
it did. Just the way I like paused and worded that.
Yep. It piqued Anna Shepard's interest.
It did. And she actually bought the Davis Horton house.
Dang, she's a baller.
She was a baller.
Wait, what year was this?
1873.
Women could own property by then? I guess. I guess so.
She bought it.
I don't know what year anything happened.
To be honest, me either.
Yeah.
We should know.
I know. I'm a bad feminist.
She actually bought the house and used it as a hospital.
Oh.
And she got $1 for every patient she got.
Dang, she's just poisoning people to get more patients.
Some ratchet.
I haven't seen that yet.
Dude, it's good. You should watch it.
That's exactly what I imagined happened though. That's why I laughed along like I understood. Because I was like, that's what it seems like would happen.
That is what happened.
Also, this place is definitely going to be fucking haunted. Any house that at one point was used as a hospital, guaranteed
True.
haunted.
True. So in the years to follow, the house changed owners a few more times before becoming the museum it is today.
Oh.
Every room is creatively set up to depict each period of era it lived through.
That's
pretty cool. It is pretty cool. So if you visit, you get to see it as a hospital, a private residence, and even as an officer's barracks.
Oh, wow. It really was a bunch of shit.
Yeah. In almost every article I read, they mentioned the spirit of a German spy from World War II who used the house for a brief period of time. Sightings of an apparition dressed in World War II gear has been reported on more than one occasion.
That's pretty sick. How do they know he's German?
Well, he was a German spy.
Oh. Duh.
It is known as an angry spirit, probably due to the fact that he was captured in the home and likely put to death for his betrayal.
Oh, fuck. Brutal. Killed in the house, probably?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
That's what I'm thinking. If he's still
God.
haunting the house.
Oh, big true.
Another ghostly encounter belongs to a female apparition dressed in Victorian-era clothing that predominantly wanders around the second floor. She is thought to be the spirit of Alonso's wife, or possibly one of the many patients from when it was a hospital.
Shit. I was going to say, which wife? Clear.
His last one? Others have maintained that they have heard a cat meowing throughout the museum, although no such animal is on the premise.
Oh my god! I love ghost animals. They're the best.
And it is pretty spooky, but it's said to be that it's a playful spirit. Like it's...
this playful cat?
Yeah, basically.
Oh my god, we need to go there. I want a cat.
You want a cat?
A ghost cat.
You'll never see it.
That makes me sad. Never mind. I'd want to hug it and love it.
There have been reports of lights flickering even before electricity was running through the house.
Oh, that's weird.
That is weird. Well, because they used to use lamps that
The
were...
oil lamps?
Yeah, the oil lamps. And even then, like, they would flicker.
Yeah, and I don't think that's easy to just turn on and off.
True, but, like...
Oh, wait, turn on and off or just...
Like, it would, like, flicker when there's no
No
air.
one's going to see our hand motions. We're using our hand motions to describe how the light goes.
I forget.
No, I was doing the same thing. I was like, just total silence in the microphone.
So, I guess they have ropes placed, like, around doorways.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would place them on top during closing time, and they would find in the morning that they were, like, off the hooks.
That's actually so creepy.
That's spooky.
What?
They say breezes are often blown through an uninsulated part of the house where there is no breeze.
Nope.
Which is spooky. A medicine chest that is left open by staff members has been found closed on many occasions, and items found shifted inside when the staff come in the morning.
Ooh.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
They just close it, or they, like, fuck shit.
They could do a lot of shit if they're able to, like, open and close this chest. I don't know. They're too powerful for me.
Spooky. Visitors have mentioned feeling of
Foreboding?
Yes. Thank you.
Knew that shit. Because that's definitely a very paranormal podcast word to use.
Foreboding presence surrounding the chest.
Ew. You know what I'm thinking of? Okay, you guys. We were talking about it for so long. We've both seen the second season of Haunting of Hill House now. I'm thinking of the chest in that one episode.
Oh, the last episode?
Like the second to last episode. You guys watch Haunting of Bly Manor, and there's like a chest, and I won't spoil it. There was no point in me saying this, but there's a creepy chest in it, and something happens with it. Sorry, Brandy.
That's it. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's it.
That's it. Items on a table set for 4 have been moved at night by random forces.
Ugh.
Like they just find them, like.
Did they change it so it's set for 3? One of them's gonna die.
Also, tourists commonly say that they have felt cold spots throughout its rooms and feel an unsettling presence upon first entering.
Isn't it funny hearing this stuff? Makes me be like, we should go, so I could feel unsettled.
It's close to us.
Oh my god, I love that we're doing a San Diego episode because I'm like, let's go.
It's actually pretty cheap to go.
Oh shit, okay.
It is possibly the result of the lady in black, or the unsettling presence.
The lady in black?
The lady in black.
That's terrifying. That's worse than lady in red and lady in white. Because she's like a shadow.
She's scary.
Oh my god.
She is thought to haunt the grounds. Her exact identity is unknown, but many feel that she is perhaps the victim of another case of disease that was considered untreatable during her lifetime.
Aww.
So, that's
she just walks around wearing a black dress or some creepy shit.
Yeah.
That's what the ladies in blah 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 always do with their
Basically.
different colored dresses.
Basically. So the David, oh, fuck that up. The Davis Horton house became quite the attraction for both ghost hunters, Jesus, and the curious.
Has been there.
God, can't pronounce shit.
It's okay.
Its popularity even gained attention from the Biography Channel to feature the house on its series My Ghost Story.
Oh, cool.
The episode aired in May 2012, and it is said that they encountered the ghost of
They had such unique names back then.
Lillian.
That is so unique.
Lillian Davis, who was the daughter of William.
Aww.
Other teams of ghost hunters. What the fuck did I just...
I could not repeat it if I wanted to. It's like a computer glitched, is what your voice just did.
My brain glitched.
That was so
My
weird.
brain is buffering.
Oh my god.
Other teams of ghost hunters.
That's hunter. It's the T. The T's missing. Because I was thinking when you're like, what did I say? I thought you got mixed up and I was like, no, I heard hun.
Hunters.
Hunters.
Ghost hunters have used EVP recorders in an attempt to detect the paranormal. Many picked up non-human entities and sounds. One even recorded the sound of a cat, and the most creepy part was that the room was dead silent while they recorded.
Okay, that's gross.
It wasn't until they actually like played back the sound that they heard the cat,
Ew.
which I think is super spooky.
That's gross. But it was a kitty.
True, but that's still creepy.
This is why you can't pet ghosts, because you can't see it, you can't hear it. There's literally no point. You just have to
True.
record them and listen back later and be like, oh, he's so cute.
I mean, that kind of reminds me of the movie The Conjuring, when they're recording, like asking her questions,
I've seen it,
and
but
she's
I don't know
responding, and then they play it back, and it's like just guttural voices.
why. Is that the one with the...
The mom.
Is that the Enfield Poltergeist one? No. I think we've talked about the real story for The Conjuring. It is.
Yeah,
Oh. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, creepy. Those movies are creepy.
I love those.
I like them too.
Similar recordings have picked up children in the kitchen area.
That's worse.
Yeah, I guess
That's worse.
that's scary.
Holy shit. Ugh.
But I guess some ghost hunters, hunters.
What, are you country today? Like, what's happening? You got your plaid, you got your hunters.
Apparently.
San
I don't know
Diego
where
is
the-
south.
where the fuck this came from. But I guess some of them actually put some toys out, and they were able to hear playing it back.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
Some little kids' voices say bear in gray.
Oh.
It's
They're like, these toys fucking suck.
But yeah, I didn't verify if it's open right now, but it's pretty cheap. It's $5 to
What
go
the fuck?
walk around by yourself, or $10 to get an actual someone audio tour is what they call it.
What
So
are you
we'll
doing this
be
week
right
in
back.
Brandy? What the fuck?
I don't know if it's open though.
It might not because of COVID.
I think if it is, I think it's reservation only.
Does Alaris like scary stuff?
No, she's just not.
Okay, so Alaris can wait here while me and you go, because Robert also doesn't like scary stuff.
She is a chicken.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you, Brandy, and listeners. So, I mentioned many times I went on a road trip for 2 weeks. I'm back, by the way. I've been back for a couple weeks. You guys don't know when we record these, so...
Yeah. I didn't even notice you were gone.
Yeah, basically. Whenever I was going to stay... Whenever me and Robert were going to stay next to Crater Lake in Oregon, we had reserved this hotel, and it was cheapish, and it was only an hour away, which unfortunately was the norm for trying to stay near national parks. They don't have any fucking affordable places nearby. And I was trying to look up the hour, the hours that we check in, because it was the day of check-in, and I found out that it was haunted. And I was reading about it, and Robert does not like scary stuff at all. And it was talking about how the ghost there specifically likes to get in bed with the male guests there.
Oh.
So we called and canceled the room the day of and had to book something that was 2 hours away because we were so sketched out by it. And my sisters were giving me grief because they were like, you're in a podcast for ghosts and stuff. And I was like, yeah, but I do it for fun with Leah and Brandy. I wouldn't do it with Robert, who's scared of it. And also I'd want a heads up, not just the day of, be like, oh, by the way, it's haunted. But yeah, it was creepy. It's called Dawson Lodge, and I don't remember the name of the town, but it's by Crater Lake in Oregon. I forgot to tell you that. But anyway, so this week I'm going to be talking about the Whaley house, which I think is a pretty well-known San Diego haunt. It's one of the only ones I'd actually heard of.
It's the number one, I believe.
It's the one.
Well, the most commonly one.
Well, actually...
Commonly one.
comment. Yeah,
Yep,
that one.
that one.
According to Travel Channel's America's Most Haunted, it's the #1 most haunted house in America.
Woo!
But I'm pretty sure
That's what
every haunted house we've mentioned on our podcast is the most haunted. And like low-key, if you guys listen to our episode Haunted Houses and Where Did Brandy Go? Brandy's not in the episode. I talked about Amityville, and Amityville is like, that's my favorite haunted house. That's all I gotta say. No offense to all these other houses. I know we've mentioned a lot of houses, and that was literally like episode 3, and it was fun to research. I'll get back to it. Fun fact, you'll like this. The house is only less than a block from El Campo Santo Cemetery, which is another haunted place that you talked about in our Cemeteries and Bone Daddies episode.
Yes.
And like it's literally a 2-minute walking difference from each other. So Whaley House is closed right now because of COVID, but once it's reopened, I think we should go, and we should go to the cemetery too.
We should.
Because we're all talking. We keep saying we should do these things. We need to do it. Oh god, it's gonna be creepy. It's gonna be winter when I reopen. They're not gonna reopen this winter. They're gonna wait till next year. Anyway, I want to do both. A quote I read about the house said it has witnessed more history than any other building in the city. I'm not trying to show off, but
But you are.
I know. Sorry. So, as well as being a home at different points in time, it was San Diego's second county courthouse, San Diego's first commercial theater, a ballroom, a billiard hall, a school, a polling place, and lots of different businesses, including the Whaley's General Store. So, weirdly, my history lesson actually starts before the construction of the house. And also, I told you guys, mine has a lot of history too, but fuck it, whatever. Spooky history. So in 1852, a man named James Santiago Robinson, aka Yankee Jim, was convicted of attempted grand larceny after being caught stealing a boat. He was sentenced to death by hanging for his crimes and was hanged on a gallows on a wagon where the property was later built. Extra disturbing, the newspaper said he, quote, kept his feet in the wagon as long as possible but was finally pulled off. He swung back and forth like a pendulum until he strangled to death. And all of this just for stealing a boat? Like, fuck, man. It's not...
No, don't steal a fucking boat.
Dang, I don't think you should strangle for it, though.
Don't steal shit.
So, one of the witnesses to his execution was Thomas Whaley, who would a few years later go on and buy this property and build his family home on it. Which I thought was a really odd flex. It did not bother him at all.
He said, fuck it.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it, it's probably cheaper now. So, Thomas Whaley, who, as you can guess, was the inspiration for the name of the home, was born in 1823 in New York City. He ended up leaving New York and heading for California during the gold rush.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. He went to work in San Francisco during that time.
See, it was just San Francisco.
Dude.
They were... I don't think LA was a thing.
Probably not. That's why so many things you were saying, I was like, this is like... really parallel to mine. They probably fucking knew each other. They're in the same social circles or whatever. Wait, yours died? Not. What time did yours die?
1909.
Oh, no, they were alive at the same time. Ooh, I wonder if they knew each other. So, he had set up a store in San Francisco with his business partner, and it was pretty successful. He was even able to get a place to live on the bay. But unfortunately, in 1851, Thomas's buildings were destroyed due to arson. And taking a friend's advice, he decided to relocate to Old Town San Diego.
See? He was hit by the fires, too.
Okay, I was thinking when I read it, because last week did the 1800s killers. Did they set these fires themselves for insurance fraud money? I'm just saying.
Oh, that's right.
I'm just saying, if you guys listened to our episode last week, whose name I can't remember, saying the 1800s killers, dude, both of our people were like setting fires, moving bodies, collecting insurance money like nobody's business.
That's true. That was really big. But
yeah.
William lost all his money.
Okay, well, maybe not Brandy's story. It was a lie. He had it all somewhere else. Anyway, so never mind on that one. Well,
but it makes sense.
idea. Okay. While in San Diego, he made enough money to go back to New York to marry his would-be wife, Anna, in 1853. I don't know if they were, like, dating and he just, like, pieced out for a few years, but also, like, back then, you didn't just leave the East Coast to go to the West Coast. Like, you spent, like, 200 days traveling to get there. So, I don't know if she was, like, waiting for him, but if she was, that would suck.
That's a whole ass year.
That is a whole ass year. So, once married, the couple returned to San Diego and entered a few business partnerships, most of which didn't last more than a year, though. In 1855, Thomas bought the property where he had once seen Yankee Jim Robinson hung and built a single-story granary in 1856 to hold over 300,000 pounds of grain. A granary is literally just a thing that you store grain in. I thought it was going to have a more interesting definition than that.
It's just storage.
Yeah. So in September of that same year, construction began next door to the granary on a 2-story Greek Revival house, and it was finished in 1857. I just thought of, and it was a mountain. That is from our episode Unsolved Mysteries, and it was a mountain. It's a good episode. So San Diego Herald referred to the home as the, quote, finest new brick block in Southern California. Mm-hmm. They're like writing about it and shit. So it was pretty nice for the time period with mahogany and rosewood furniture, damask drapes, and nice carpets.
Wow.
I looked up damask. It is a nice fabric. In August of 1857, Thomas opened a general store in the home, but it was too far for most customers, so he ended up relocating his store elsewhere. By this time, Anna had given birth to 2 babies, Francis Hinton in 1854 and Thomas Whaley Jr. in 1856. They also later went on to have Anna Amelia in 1858, George Hay Ringgold. That's this dude's name.
Why do they have different last names?
I think these may be our middle names. That's why I put the entire names,
okay.
because this dude's name is George Hay Ringgold Whaley. That's a lot. But regardless, he was born in 1860. Violet Eloise was born in 1862, and Corinne Lillian in 1864. On January 29th, 1958, little Thomas Whaley Jr. unfortunately died from scarlet fever at only 18 months old. This was followed by the loss of their store once again to arson in August of that year, and the family decided to move to San Francisco for a change of scenery while they grieved. And I don't want to say that they set their place on fire again, but I mean, arson again? Are you kidding me? Or maybe that was just like the crime everyone loved to commit back then.
Maybe because it was easy.
Dude, everything was so easy in the 1800s as well.
For real, though.
I mean, I guess they didn't have, like, any rights or anything. But as far as crimes were, you could straight get away with anything. Fuck. So they remained in San Francisco until 1868, after there was a large earthquake, when they moved back into their home in Old Town San Diego and opened up another general store. General stores were, like, Tom Whaley's shit, basically. Like, he was always fucking open up general stores, no matter where he's at. So now that they were back, the house was a little more interesting, as from October of 1868 to January of 1869, the front upstairs bedroom was occupied by the Tanner Troupe Theater. It's kind of crazy, because on opening night of the theater, they were somehow able to fit a stage, a few benches, and 150 guests in the room, although most people had to stand. But, like, how fucking big is this front bedroom?
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
I'm like, bedrooms? Is there several and you, like, broke down the walls? I don't understand this. I haven't passed by Whaley House or anything, and no one really talked about the size when I was reading about it, so I don't think it's massive. We'll find out soon when we go tour it and let you guys know. So, unfortunately, 55-year-old Thomas Tanner, the operator of the theater, died just 17 days after their opening night.
What?
Yeah, and that led to the troupe disbanding and leaving the Whaley House. So, I couldn't find how he died or if it was in the house. All I could confirm is that it was sudden, and that, interestingly enough, he was buried at El Campo Santo Cemetery. So, it's another reason to go. We could go see his grave. The Whaleys are not buried there, though. Stupid ass.
Were they burned?
No, they were not burned. They were just buried at a different cemetery. I think it was like Mount Hope Cemetery. I don't really know what that is, though.
I guess it's cremated, not burned.
Yeah, I was like, burned? Jesus Christ, Brandy. Were they burned? I'm like, I don't know. Did you burn them?
No. I wasn't alive.
I feel like the tone implied that you've burned before. Oh my god.
I don't know what I did in my past life. I don't remember.
Dang. You burned the Whaleys. They're coming for us. So, in August of 1869, the granary was turned into a courthouse, and for a little while, 3 of the upstairs bedrooms were rented to use as storage for county records. From 1874 to 1879, Thomas left the family in San Diego to head to New York, supposedly to settle his father's estate. Weirdly, his father had died like 40 years before this, so I don't know what the fuck he had to settle that could have waited half a decade. 40 years is half a decade. Almost half a century. I don't get that, but yeah. He was also going to San Francisco around then to attempt to find a job, as the family was struggling financially and were mostly dependent on the oldest son, Francis Hinton, to provide for them.
Damn.
I also keep, I'm just going to be saying the kids' full names, one name. I don't know what they went by. On January 5th, 1882, Violet, Eloise, and Anna... it was Amelia, right? I put Ameria, like America without a C.
It was Amelia.
Okay. Anna, Amelia, they both got married. Anna, Amelia to their first cousin, Nasty, John T. Whaley, and Violet Eloise to a man named George T. Bellacci. I said that like Italy. I don't know if it is, though.
Sounds like Italian.
Yeah. So a couple weeks into Violet's marriage, as her and her new husband were headed home from their honeymoon, Violet woke up one morning to find George missing. So it turns out this motherfucker was actually a con artist. He'd only married her as he expected a large dowry upon marriage. So I'm not sure if this dowry even existed, but either way, he was a douchebag. Since it was the 1800s after all, Violet was actually shunned from her community when she arrived home without her husband. Isn't that so fucked up?
Yes.
So her divorce was finalized the next year, but she suffered from depression caused by the humiliation and betrayal from George. She was also only 19 when they even got married.
Jeez.
19, and already people were like, rest of your life, you suck. We're not going to speak to you. That's awful.
That's dumb.
Yeah. So on August 18, 1885, Violet killed herself by shooting herself in the chest with her father's gun. She was only 22 years old.
Shit, that's how old I am.
Oh, fuck. Don't pull a Violet on us. That's super suicide awareness, you guys. Don't pull a Violet on us. In her suicide note is part of a poem called A Bridge of Sighs by Thomas Hood. It goes, mad from life's history, swift to death's mystery, glad to be hurled anywhere, anywhere out of this world. Pretty emo poem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost called it a song. Basically. Yeah, it's funny reading stories like this from the 1800s. You're like, wow, that's crazy. And because it doesn't really feel like these people have ever existed. That sounds like douchey, doesn't it?
It feels like forever ago.
It's so long ago that I'm like, oh, it's whatever. And I'm like, oh, there was a 22-year-old who was so sad about being shunned from society, she actually killed herself.
That's pretty sad, though.
Pretty brutal, man. So this death caused so much scandal that Corinne Lillian, who had been engaged at the time for sister's death, was broken up with by her fiance.
Ooh, shit.
So not only did her sister kill herself, her fiance was like, ugh, I don't want to have anything to do with this. We're done. And again, the Whaley family needed a change of scenery, so Thomas built them a single-story home in downtown San Diego to live in. Which, Newtown?
Yes.
Yeah, Newtown, San Diego.
Newtown.
So the Whaley house remained empty for over 20 years and, of course, fell into ruin during this time. In this period, Francis went on to get married in 1888, and his father, Thomas Whaley, died in 1890 in their new home. Anna Amelia, the oldest Whaley daughter, also died, although in Modesto, California, in 1905. In 1909, Francis decided to go back to the Whaley house, where he had it restored and planned to turn it into a tourist attraction. He lived there with his mother, sister Corinne, and brother George until 1913, when Anna died at 80 years old. 1 year later, Francis died as well. George passed away in 1928, and Corinne continued to live in her family home until her own death in 1953. Since she had been living alone for so long, the house had kind of fallen back into disrepair. And as you could tell, lots of death happened in the house, so lots of ghosts are to be expected. Starting off the ghosts, I'm going to do a quick little side story because I thought it was interesting. Okay, so once Regis Philbin, like the game show guy, like Regis and Kelly, yeah, he went to the house and actually saw the ghost of Anna Whaley.
Oh, shit.
Isn't that so random? So Regis was on an episode of The Haunting of, where he tells his story, and I watched the first half of this episode because, of course, I was interested, and I'll give you a quick little rundown of the parts I saw. And at the end, it'll seem like it stopped kind of abruptly, and I will tell you why I stopped. You'll get the gist, though. So, I'd never heard of the show before, but I guess it's basically like this psychic medium woman named Kim Russo meets with celebrities to hear their ghost stories, and she, like, takes them back to the places where they experienced them. So, before this, in 2011, Regis was actually on Celebrity Ghost Stories, where he originally told his story. When he first became a talk show host, like, in the 60s, he met a ghost hunter. They spoke together about the Whaley house and decided to go together along with a witch. Regis's word, not mine, but I actually looked her up on her Wikipedia. It was like, paranormal something, comma, witch, comma, and I'm like, okay, just casually a witch. This witch was named Sybil Leek, and they also brought a cameraman to record their time. I said time weird. Their time in the house. I was like, what? So when they got to the home, Sybil said she would need to go into a trance, so the ghost hunter hypnotized her before asking questions about what she sensed and felt. Sybil said she sensed a woman named Anna Whaley who did not want to leave the home as she'd had too many experiences and tragedies. They thought this was good enough and ended the investigation into the home, but Regis was still intrigued. So through the Navy, he had become friends with a Marine named Bill in San Diego who was a non-believer, and they were like, hey, let's stay the night at this place and see what everyone's talking about. Regis got a hold of the homeowners and requested that they be allowed to stay in the home overnight alone, and it was okayed. Very 60s, there's no way anyone would be allowed to do that right now.
I feel like if you have a lot of money, yeah.
If you have a lot of money, I feel like they'd be afraid you're going to throw a party or something, though.
True.
Like leaving alone with no employees. I don't know. You gotta have a lot of money. The last of the workers left around 9:30 p.m., and at midnight, probably to make it spookier, Regis suggests that they turn off all the lights. They went back to the living room and sat near an archway through which they were able to see the next room. The two sat in darkness for a couple hours, Regis holding onto a flashlight just in case, while Bill occasionally saying how this was silly and such a waste of time, even though I think it was Bill's idea, by the way. Suddenly, he stopped talking and said, "Don't turn on the light." Regis looked over through the archway and saw what he described as the transparent shape of a woman. She was illuminated in white and was staring back at the pair. He said it was the kind of stuff you saw in movies. Bill had seen it too, so logically, he got down on his hands and knees and began to crawl towards the spirit like he was going towards a fucking enemy. I'm like, what, why? Also, what are you gonna do if you get up there? Are you gonna tackle her?
You're just praying to her?
I have no idea. Regis was too excited watching his friend because he knew something or someone was there, and he said he couldn't help himself, so he grabbed the flashlight, pointed at the apparition, and turned it on. There was nothing there. Bill was pissed that Regis turned on the light when he specifically told him not to, but then the two of them looked to the wall and saw a picture of Anna Whaley that they recognized as being the woman they'd seen. They returned back to the living room, again in darkness, to wait for her to reappear, but she never did. He said this experience had haunted him for nearly 50 years because he regretted turning the light and never truly finding out if it was a ghost or actually just all in their heads. Unfortunately, Bill had since passed away, so he couldn't rejoin Regis on this second trip to get answers. I just want to let you guys know, you still don't fully get answers because I could not watch the show to the end. I couldn't. Because, okay, hopefully it sounds like more interesting as I'm saying it, but this psychic, Kim, you can't see anything she's talking about. She's just like, oh, I see something. And she just sees it. We don't see anything. Regis is just like, huh. Back to the experience that he had with Kim. As soon as Kim actually arrived outside the house, she began to sense spirits and feel a heaviness in her chest. Immediately in the courtroom, she could see a man's figure pacing back and forth. She said it was likely he may not realize he was dead and that he probably died in a traumatic way. I'm thinking this is probably Yankee Jim. And she described him as, like, bigger and stuff, and Yankee Jim was 6'4", which was extremely tall for back then. Yeah. Tall for right now, even. In the kitchen, Kim could see the spirits of 2 girls and a dog. Aww. I got a ghost dog. She didn't describe the dog, but I think it's safe to assume it was cute. They began to walk upstairs when Kim suddenly stopped, saying there was an energy that she felt was telling them not to go up, almost like an invisible barrier. She began to communicate mentally with the spirit, who she believed to be like a motherly figure, possibly Anna, and they were basically given the go-ahead by this ghost to head upstairs for the tour. So that's another thing, because, like, I don't necessarily, like, believe Kim or not believe Kim, but even when she was like, oh, I need to see if we can get past here, she's like, I do it mentally. She's just, like, talking in her head. I'm like, not getting a lot of action in this show, fuck.
Just her standing there.
Literally her standing there, and she's like, alright, we're good to go. And he was like, let's go. Okay, sure.
That's weird.
It is so weird. This one's more legit. So, once upstairs, they both could smell a musty, stale cigar smoke. They headed to the master bedroom where Kim could hear a baby crying in distress. She was also lit to multiple windows with the same views of outside, and she said she could hear gunshot noises that she thinks occurred outside of the home. Not long after this, they were joined by a tour guide who actually confirmed to them that Violet killed herself in the outside of the very window they were at, and they were told about baby Thomas dying of scarlet fever in the master bedroom, which would explain the crying that Kim heard. I believe that Violet may have killed herself in the outhouse, which is, okay, like, already bad that she killed herself, but, like, if that was the only outhouse, what were they supposed to do for the rest of the day? Like, oh shit, your sister's body's in there, you need to go to the bathroom. It's a weird position to be in.
Very. But also, like, private.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Because apparently, like, these rooms seem like they were, like, massive and open to each other and stuff, if they were able to have a theater in it. This is when I stopped watching, because, like, I said that all in, like, 3 minutes, right? That was, like, 22 minutes of watching the show. It was too slow moving for me. I'm sorry. I'll give it another chance later, but I was kind of, like, procrastinating, and I just wanted answers fast, and it didn't give them to me. But anyway, as far as other stories, many spirits have been seen in the home. Once during a tour of the home, a little girl around 5 or 6 began waving to a man standing in the parlor, but nobody else could see him. It was believed that she saw Thomas Whaley. He has also been seen by adults on the upper landing. One person said Mr. Whaley was, quote, clad in frock coats and pantaloons. The face turned away from her so she could not make it out. Suddenly it faded away. A frock, from what I could tell, and based on this context, is like a particular kind of Victoria era coat, and pantaloons are pants.
Pantaloonies.
Pantaloonies. I don't know what I said. So some people have also seen or felt the presence of a woman in the courtroom. One person described her as having a darker complexion with dark hair and eyes. She wears a long printed skirt, a cap, and has gold hoops in her pierced ears. They also said she seemed to stay in this room, lives here, I gather. This doesn't match the description of any of the Whaleys, but the home had been rented out over the years, so it was possibly a tenant, or it was just somebody who was found, or like part of a trial there, maybe. And like, I think we've spoken before how sometimes ghosts show up even though they didn't die there. Like in my hotels in a Blue Ball Cowboy, got our names, they're great. There was like one housekeeper who didn't die there, but like if they have a significant experience, they could show up there again. But anyway, there's a legend I read about that honestly probably isn't true, but it's spooky, so I'll share it anyway. According to this story, the Whaley children had a friend named either Annabelle or Carrie. Once when she was over and they were playing, she accidentally broke her neck on a low-hanging clothesline in the backyard. There's no official record of this happening, but the ghost of a young girl has been seen out there.
What the fuck?
How would that even work? Like, you're running at it too fast? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
And you're just like, ugh. Okay, I feel bad if this was a child. Yeah, there's no record, but if that happened, fuck. That's bad. I read one story about somebody who had a spooky experience at the house. So they said that they were a child and they were on a tour and snuck under one of the ropes, like to the exhibit. So I guess that they used to have ropes and now they have glass because children like this would just go under the ropes and say, fuck it. Yeah, basically they'd be wildin'. So this person remembers looking into a long mirror and seeing a little boy behind them who was dressed in 18th century style clothing. He was talking to a beautiful young woman who kept looking back at the storyteller in the mirror and smiling. They wrote that she didn't seem evil, but definitely devious. And she was completely green.
What?
Like, her face, her clothes, her hair, she was all green. They turned away from the mirror, but the little boy and the woman were gone. So they went back there, like, in the future as an adult, and they were, like, on a San Diego ghost tour thing. This part I didn't write down. I read it, though, and I'm just going to hope that I remembered it correctly. They talked to some ghost hunters who, like, do, like, tours and stuff about this. And I guess that, like, a green ghost has been seen before, if not there, then, like, other places. And they were like, all right, well, who did you see? And she's like, I don't fucking know. So they showed her some pictures, and they showed her Anna, and they were like, no, it's not her. They showed her one of the, I think it was Corinne, and she was like, no, not Corinne. Like, she was younger and, like, really pretty and stuff. And they showed her Violet, and she was like, yeah, It was her. So it was Violet who killed herself. She saw her ghost. No idea what's up with the whole green thing. But, you know, to each their own.
Maybe because of the outhouse.
What, like toxic shit?
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh my god. I'm imagining neon green. Are you okay? Did you just break your wrist?
I just flicked it.
I wonder if you're gonna... A flick of the wrist.
Flick of the wrist. Ow!
So the Whaleys owned a terrier named Dolly Varden when they were alive, and paranormal investigators have claimed to see the apparition of a dog that they described as looking like a fox terrier. That's probably it. I wonder if this is the same dog that psychic saw before. She didn't describe the dog, which kind of hurt my feelings. But,
she just said, there's a dog.
Yeah, she said there's a dog, and I was like, okay, was it adorable? Did it look fluffy?
Big dog, small dog.
Did it have a short snout, long snout? I need the details.
Short hair, long hair.
I need to know everything.
Hyperallergenic.
Yeah, she probably knew too. She probably could communicate with him mentally or whatever she does. Anyway, people have also seen the spirit of Anna Whaley in the house, usually downstairs or in the garden, or if you're Regis Philbin, in a random room. Interestingly, the Whaleys themselves were actually haunted while they were in the home.
Oh, what?
I thought that was so weird. So they believed that they could hear Yankee Jim Robinson, who had been hung on the property, walking around their home. The footsteps that they heard sounded loud and heavy, like they were coming from a bigger man wearing boots. And like I said before, he's a big boy. He was 6'4". It's also rumored that when alive, Anna was uncomfortable by the way some windows would suddenly unlatch and fly open on their own.
That's creepy.
I like that. It's not she was scared. She was just uncomfortable.
She just didn't like it.
Yeah, it just wasn't her favorite, but she didn't hate it. But yes, that is my story in the Whaley house. And they do have tours that I really want to do. They also, I think, monthly have, like, night tours. Where, yes. It's kind of, I think it might be like $50. But honestly, that'd be kind of sick.
Ooh.
Me and Brandy keep saying we're going to do all these spooky things. We haven't done any. But to be fair, COVID. But 2021, we're going to see a fucking ghost, Brandy. Oh my god, that's actually kind of scary. But let's do it. Alright. Thank you guys for listening. We changed all of our social media last week, so let me think for a second what they're all called now. If you want to email us, you can at thespookyshit.pod@gmail.com. Our Instagram and Twitter are spookyshit_pod. And we have not gotten a new website domain yet, so don't hit us up there. Just use the other stuff. And if you guys, like, ever listen to this later on and you're like, oh fuck, like, I emailed the wrong address, I'm still gonna be checking both of the emails, so, like, you're fine. I'm just gonna pretend that everyone's gonna be hitting us up all of a sudden, so yeah. But thank you for listening, especially that last part. I didn't know where I was going with it. Alright, talk to you next week. Goodbye!
Gay!
Okay, gay.